Hello, I'm Ronnie and welcome. On today's video, I'm going to share with you two decoupage projects I created from supplies I already had in my home. I began with some paint I had from the craft store, foam brush and just a chip brush. I started with the vase first and I applied 2 coats of paint. While the vase was drying, I went on to my wine bottle and I also did 2 coats of paint on the wine bottle. So these are the napkins I was working with, and I believe they came from Dollar Tree. And yeah, they have a springtime theme to them, but they're so pretty and they've been sitting in my craft box. I just felt like digging into them. For this part, I just dampen a small paintbrush and run it around the napkin on the portions of where I want to remove the picture from the napkin. And you want those nice uneven borders because uneven borders are nice when you're decoupaging. It helps it look more seamless with your piece. And I didn't have any rhyme or reason when I was doing this. I kind of went into these projects without a plan, which isn't always the best idea for me, but I just kept tearing. Once I had a good amount of images ripped out, I started just placing them all over the bottles. And don't forget, all the back pieces of your napkin, you just want the very front layer. All the back layers need to be torn away at this point. So you're just working with the front of the napkin. I just started piecing these all over my bottle, and I thought this one I was just going to cover completely. So what I did was I just put all the pictures, I kind of fit them all together like a puzzle. I wanted the bottle completely covered. And I always use a balled up piece of saran wrap for smoothing. It just makes it so much easier to work with the Mod Podge and your napkin. It doesn't rip your napkin like you can if you're trying to smooth it with your fingers. And I just kept working my way all around the bottle. I should also mention, when I'm first applying my images to whatever vessel I'm covering, I do put the Mod Podge on first, and then I smooth the picture down completely. And I let that dry for a while before I start putting my layers of Mod Podge, my final layers of Mod Podge over. I just have my Mod Podge layer underneath first, smooth out my images, and then let that dry for a while. Now that I've applied all my pictures, I'm going to coat the entire part with just the pictures, not over the clear glass part, but just the pictures, with a nice layer of Mod Podge. I do bake my Mod Podge so it sets up faster, because I find it takes a lot of the wrinkles out. I find it just gives me a smoother finish. So when I'm done sealing this up with Mod Podge, I like to put it in a cold oven, turn the oven to 170 degrees with my project in there. Once it comes to 170 degrees, I just shut it off and let my project cool in there for approximately an hour. Oftentimes I'll do that more than once. Once the baking was done, I cut away the extra paper and decided to just dress this up a little bit with some beads I had just from Dollar Tree, and I used E6000 to do that. And for the bottom, I do like to cover the bottom of these just so they're not scratching anything they're sitting on. So I just bought a sheet of felt. I think I got this from Walmart, and cut out a round circle to fit the bottom, and just again used some E6000 and attached it to the bottom of the bottle. These next images are going to be for the vase. And it's important to remember, once you have everything that you want to put on to your vase or bottle or whatever you're decorating, that you take the backing off these napkins. And one of the easiest ways to do it is to just wet your thumb and forefinger a little bit and tap on either side of the napkin so the back pulls away from the front. And unfortunately, it's not in camera here, but it's one of the easiest ways I found. I ended up with a different plan here. For this piece, I decided I just wanted to put just random butterflies all over the vase. So to glue these down, it's opposite than what I just told you. Where the vase is concave here, with just putting the glue down first and then trying to place the image on it wasn't sticking for me, so I ended up having to just basically just glue it down because it kept popping back up. But it ended up working just fine. On this piece, after all the transfers were on and had dried, I once again went over just the transfers with my Mod Podge to smooth them all down. So to get that look, I tried some dry brushing over my pictures on this vase. I just didn't think they blended in as seamlessly as I had wanted them to, so I literally just took a dry brush, dipped it in a little bit of paint, got a lot of the paint off, and just kept swiping it all over the pictures so the wrinkles in the picture picked up the paint, and it kind of made the images seem more seamless onto the surface. At this point, once I liked the way it looked, I covered it in Mod Podge. After the entire project was covered in Mod Podge, I put it in a cold oven, set it to 170 degrees, baked it for 1/2 hour, and then I just shut the oven off and let the project cool in the oven. I am using these both in my fall decor. They are a little springtime, but I think they match what I have in my home pretty well, and I was pretty happy with the way they came out. Thank you so much for joining me today with these projects. If you have any questions, please ask. Be safe out there, and thank you so much for joining me today. Bye.